Thanks for joining me. Today, I wanted to talk about making your own rules because I think some people out there are discouraged by the progress they're making or not making in their music careers. And I think you would do well to remember that you're really in charge of that. Nobody else can tell you what you're supposed to achieve or what your goals are supposed to be or what you're aiming for. Only you decide that. For example, if you want to be signed to a record label, obviously a win for you would mean getting a contract offer. But you could set your sights a lot lower if you want to. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's up to you. You can have small goals and you can have really big goals if that's what you choose to do. And you have to be the one measuring against the own rules that you've made to play the game. My first point is that you are your harshest critic. When you put a new product out into the world, whether it's an ebook or a brand new single, EP, or album, you know everything that's wrong with it because you were involved in the production process. Whether it was your guitar playing being a little bit out of time, your vocals being pitchy, or the drums not totally in sync with the rest of the band. But when your fans go and listen to it, they might not even notice some of those things. So there's really no reason to point out and say, hey, on this track, my guitar playing's off. You don't need to tell them that. If they enjoy the song, they enjoy the song. They love it. More often than not, if you go back and listen to some of the recordings that came from the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of live recording off the floor. And there are some amazing recordings from back then, but there's also a lot of flaws. And some of them were even covered up by instruments. Even the Beatles had songs like that, where sections, they played the wrong chord and they covered it up with a bunch of horns and things like that. So it's just good to be aware that nobody else is as harsh as you. I've found in my experience as a creative, nobody is a harsher critic than myself. So it's good to be aware of that. Second of all, setting your own rules makes it easy for you to win. And success breeds success. So when you begin working on something and you complete it, well, that's your first win. And then you put it out into the world, and that's another win. And as you continue to achieve more, your confidence will begin to increase, and you'll begin to do even more than you did before, and you'll get more done. And I think setting your own rules enables you, therefore, to increase your confidence continually over time, bit by bit, after every achievement, every win. And that leads to momentum. Momentum obviously leads to being prolific and producing more and creating more and putting more out into the world. And we want to encourage that success cycle to happen in our lives. But if you set your goals too high and you measure yourself against some of the most amazing people in the world, and you're just getting started in your music career, or you're in year 2 or 3 right now, you can't do what they did. It's near impossible. So measuring yourself against some of the most accomplished musicians or music business people in the world is unfair to yourself. What we want to do is to get into that success cycle, and setting your own rules and your own goals and measuring yourself against those goals enables you to boost your confidence and achieve more. Making your own rules also puts you in control. I've talked before about ownership. You should be in control of what you accomplish, especially as a musician or a business owner. You should put those parameters in place as to what it means to be successful in what you do. No one else should be telling you what that is, should they? So take some time to think about what success would mean to you. And if you have really huge goals, then put little small goals in place that allow you to reach that next level. Put those stepping stones in place. And every time you hit one of those mile markers, you realize you've made progress in your career, and that will increase your confidence as well. And that was my last point, is that it increases your confidence. So making your own rules, taking ownership of it, taking responsibility of your career increases your confidence. So what are your thoughts on making your own rules? Have you already made your own rules for your music career or business? Let me know. Leave a comment below. and I'll see you next time.